Good morning. My name is Marlene Cestaro. My passion for nursing started in 2009 when I had the opportunity to stay at home and care for my aunt while she was on hospice until passing. Seeing the nurses and aides care for my aunt with kind hearts and caring hands, who taught me how to monitor her vitals and use a Plurilex catheter to drain her lungs. This experience made me realize this was the field for me. I started CNN school, passed my exam, and applied to Bartley Healthcare in Jackson, New Jersey, where I became an aide on the subacute floor. I've always been a person who welcomed knowledge, and my nurse colleagues took me under their wings. Once they started teaching me nursing procedures, I knew I had to go back to school to become a nurse. In September of 2010, I started the accelerated LPN program at Ocean County Votech School in Toms River, New Jersey, while working as an aide at Bartley Healthcare. Upon completion of my program in July 2011, I received the Marie Lapboyd Nursing Leadership Award and passed my boards in August. Within several years, I climbed my way to unit manager of the subacute unit, where I currently hold that title. Education is a huge passion of mine, so teaching others is something I love to do. Discharge education is very important for families and patients. A simple teaching of a BGM machine, packing a wound, administering medication through a PEG tube can be very scary to patients and families. But if you take the time to explain, demonstrate for them, and offer your support and hands-on training, it makes a world of difference to families taking their loved ones home. Everyone needs the tool to succeed, so my team and I always communicate to every patient and family member that they can always reach out to us with any questions or concerns. Education is the tool that helps remove all of our doubts and fears about the challenges we face in our lives. Then COVID hit and the world turned upside down. I remember listening to the news and being petrified to even leave the house. The mass education that was being thrown to us was overwhelming. Every day and every hour, things were changing. DOH constantly put out new guidelines and rules that we kept trying to stay up to date on. We had to be fitted for N95s and learn how to properly wear them. The donning and doffing of PPE, the designated rooms which we had to set up to don and off prior to entering COVID rooms. At one point, I was placed in charge of the COVID-free patients and took extreme pride in making sure all infection control guidelines were to the exact guideline. I wanted to ensure these delicate patients, staff, and staff family members stayed safe. Then lockdown occurred. It was extremely rough, not only on the patients who could not see their loved ones, but also for the staff who had to come to their children or their families who did not know what was going on. The phone and FaceTime were our only means of communication. Temperature checks and respiratory assessments were completed every shift. Staff began to become sick, and as an organization, we all pitched in and did what we had to do, making personal sacrifices. Supplies were hard to come by. I remember wearing a rain poncho at one point that had been donated by the local minor league baseball team. The sweat was pouring out through my uniform, but I knew I was protecting myself, the patients, and my family at home. Hand washing was extremely important. I hung signs everywhere there was a sink. Even in my own home, I placed them on every bathroom door. I also educated every one of my family members on the proper washing of our hands and tested everyone to ensure they were doing it properly. At my house, I have no room for error. I am currently taking care of my sister who has MS and my friend who suffered a traumatic brain injury several years ago and has a trach. So coming back and forth was a process for me to protect my loved ones. I had to be extremely cautious. Upon leaving work, my cap and sneakers were placed in a plastic bag and stored in the trunk of my car. My garage became my entrance point, where I would disrobe and place my uniforms in a plastic sealed bucket, put on a robe, and run to the shower. Being the caregiver for several people becomes a balancing act. Going to the grocery store for supplies, which were limited in quantities, made life even more stressful and challenging. Wiping down boxes prior to bringing them in the house. Washing and sanitizing your hands so much you wonder if you have any fingerprints left. COVID has changed the world of nursing. Every patient or resident who has a sniffle or a cough is a potential for a PUI. My hope for the future of this profession is to educate as many as I can and hope they pay it forward. I am currently continuing my education towards becoming a registered nurse. My goal is to teach student nurses the passion for education and learning as much as I love it. The things that keep me going are my family and my 2 grandsons. I'm a huge Disney fan and love taking my family to Disney World. I want to leave you all with a quote from Walt Disney World that has inspired me. All our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Thank you, and stay safe.